What's up, rockers from all across the world? Finally got them together. Finally, it's been like maybe half a year. In COVID time, it's half a year. You know, COVID time is still a thing. I'm with Mike and Raphael from, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles coming in for Generation Underground. Finally, our interview that we rescheduled for the reschedule. So how's it going, gentlemen? How you doing?
Pretty good, man.
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, finally got a record coming out. And we got our lead single coming out literally in 3 weeks, I think. Yeah, however many weeks it is until March 17th. So I guess it is 3 weeks from today. So
Hell yeah.
We're doing good. Things are finally in motion.
You guys just released a single back in October as well. This last latest single, "Press the Needle."
Yes, sir. Yeah, we've had that song finished for a while. The song's been, realistically, stuff that will be coming out has been done for about 2.5, almost 3 years. So we've had that song done for a while, and we always knew that would kind of be like a good heavy hitter, and that's how we put it out first. And it's definitely one of those songs that it was a little bit different for us, because it's just so just in your face from literally the moment the song starts, which is what I like. Just something different, but it's probably my second favorite on the EP that we have coming out soon.
Dude, that intro riff slaps. That intro riff.
Thank you.
Is that in drop A? It sounds like drop A. It sounds like a Korn drop A fucking riff.
Drop B, actually.
It's close. Okay, they're close together.
You're close.
Yeah, that totally gave me such fucking great new metal Korn vibes. Like, oh shit, here's the chugs. Hell yeah.
Yeah, you got to go for the kill with those those Deftone Korn type riffs. You just got to pummel people with those riffs, because they're just such heavy riffs. And I was like, well, we got to make our own heavy riff, and that's just where. And I think the real thing about that song is that there's no let up. It just immediately just goes straight for the kill, which is great.
Now, where'd you guys go for producing and mixing that? Because the guitar tones are really dope on there. I love them. They're nice and thick.
So the crazy thing about kind of intertwines all 2 of our records so far, and then I'll drop the leakage. We're currently writing a 3rd one right now as well, that we're 10 songs done with, and no one knows about that. That's you heard it here first.
10 songs.
10 songs already done, mixed and mastered. So we're still writing more. Pretty much. So Justin, have you ever heard of Dillinger Escape Plan or Cody?
Fuck yeah, I can. Is that a question? Is that an honest question right there? Are you kidding me, man? Bro.
It was a rhetorical question, more or less. But Chris Penny, the drummer who was in Dillinger and Coheed, he's our producer. He's the one playing bass and drums in all the tracks. And crazy enough, we have a studio above our practice space, and he literally comes there and we record everything except the drums in my own home studio. So pretty efficient when it comes to saving.
You guys are kind of doing almost the in-house, doing the raw demo, raw DI tracks, and then you're sending them to get mixed and mastered.
Yeah, pretty much. Except for drums, yeah. Pretty much what happens is he comes to my house, bring the guys by, and then we'll end up jamming out the ideas, and then we'll kind of map together a skeleton of the song, guitar wise, and then we'll take it home with him, and then we'll add drums to it, and then we'll kind of see how the song's going, and what we think needs to get changed or moved around, and then we'll come back, and then we'll add some more stuff, and then pretty much then we'll do vocals 3 feet away from where we track guitars in the vocal booth that I have built. So it's definitely one of those things where you're very comfortable, just because not only do I live at home, but you're saving so much money and time, because you're not paying that hefty studio price per hour. And I understand yes, the studio, like being in an actual studio, has a certain vibe to it, which is I totally get that. But like, I also don't spend $78 per hour on studio time, and I have to get 3 hours to get the levels right and the mixes, and just like, or we could just spend a fraction of the cost and just do it at our own pace,
Yeah.
in my own house.
Oh, dude, 100%. I mean, it's the future of now. It's like how much more efficient wise you can put out music from doing things well mostly yourself, and then having this put it out to with every kind of DAW, whatever the fuck you're using. It just makes things a way more economically friendly. Like the economic music musician now is like it's perfect. Like there's no reason why anyone can not put out music.
Right. They make it's so easy nowadays if you want to just literally record at home. Like all you need is, a decent laptop, a decent recording software, and a set of speakers or headphones. That's all you need. Like,
Yeah.
and an interface. That's all you
And
need.
you can
Like,
literally
it's
take
not
a
that much.
basic YouTube tutorial online and just watch a video on a little bit of like mastering and mixing, getting some vocals down and doing everything else. Just a short video, and you can somewhat put a maybe decent demo on.
Right. It's amazing how much you can learn, like just from Googling like your questions. Like when I edit all the band stuff, like video wise, I use Final Cut. And I honestly had never used Final Cut up until I think it was like maybe March last year. I used iMovie, and I was like, oh, and I like mastered iMovie, and it was like, well, this is good, but I was like, but they kind of limit you on what you can do. And then my friend Brandon Raff was like, oh, you gotta get Final Cut. It's very similar to iMovie. So I was like, okay. And then he pretty much tutored me on the fly. And then any other questions I had, just I went to freaking YouTube, and I YouTube the shit, and that's how I figured out how to use it. Like it's amazing how like just a couple search words you get exactly what you need.
Yeah, dude. So like, and also for Raphael, then for you, now you're stepping in after they've kind of done stuff and they already had stuff pre-recorded.
Yep.
I know you recently joined the band. Have you started laying
Yep.
down your own bass lines into new music and whatnot? Have you changed some stuff up to previous music they already recorded?
Yeah, I definitely have changed up a lot of stuff. Everything I hear, like from what I learned by ear on the record, I play like differently. I add chords and stuff like that. I try to like mix it up and change it up, because I don't like a bass to be like boring, just like playing the same like two notes the whole time. I like a interactive bass player, Yeah, and I also like add like a lot of like distortion to my sound, so I really like the bass to like cut through the mix.
Fuck yes, dude. It's kind of that's a big issue now. I notice when everyone, it's really hard to get a great bass tone when everyone is going down, and then it's drop B, drop A, even going down the drop G and G sharp.
Yeah.
And you just got all these 7 and 8 strings, and they just overpower their mixing is overpowering the bass line, like hands down.
Yep.
And that happens a lot. And some bands are doing it really well, like with Wage War, man. They got their tone so fucking sickly down. It's awesome. But a lot of, especially in the heavy metal genre, deathcore, grindcore, whatever, it's just they put so much emphasis on guitars and the bass gets lost in the clutter.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, but like I don't really like playing low notes. I guess I like playing more like up in the high register, so the bass cuts more through.
Yes. And so then, have you already done any recording with new music coming out for your generation?
Yeah, so far I've only done one song. It's the last song we've been working on. I added like a few things, I added like a few bass chords in, and yeah, like some like I said, distortion. Because I really like a good distorted bass, like a heavy like good bass.
Are you going all digital, or are you doing actually analog with pedals?
The last song we did, it was all digital, but I'm currently like in the process of like getting pedals to like have like a really good tone,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now
I mean,
going
the
forward,
crazy thing,
what's that?
sorry, Justin. I was gonna add. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was gonna say like the crazy thing about Raph is that he plays so hard. It's like Motorhead level S. Like the bass is just so distorted. It like literally cuts through louder than the guitars.
Fuck yeah.
It's crazy.
Fuck yeah. I hope it sounds fat. Like I'm expecting now this is a big old fat tone of just like, coming through. Now wait,
Yeah, no, you'll
are
definitely
you
hear it.
fingering then, Raphael? For you to go through like that, or are you using a pick?
Oh, no, I use a pick. I kind of like learn using a pick. I
Yeah.
can play with my fingers, but I prefer using a pick.
Well, I do notice a sound difference. I mean, there's a few finger basses, obviously like Flea and whatnot, that are fucking savage and they can cut through and whatever they do. Anything. But I do notice using a pick, you're going to cut through a lot more recording wise than you are using your fingers.
Yeah.
That's the reason why David Ellefson from Megadeth, or ex Megadeth now, that's all he ever used. It was a pick. He's like he literally said, "Fuck my hands. I want to use a pick. I sound better."
Yeah, I feel the same way, honestly.
It's such a shame how that ended between Mustaine and Ellefson. It really is a shame how it ended.
It's a messy business with band images. Like we kind of talked in the offline about band drama and stuff like that, and he's definitely got the negative wind of that, even though he was not in the fault for anything in the person. Band drama, bro. Band drama.
I know.
No more band drama. Fuck. People just put the fucking music and play.
I think that'd be too easy, Justin, is to put the drama aside and just play. Like there's always got to be some tension about something. Trust me, we've had that literally as of recent with our well now ex guitar player, not the one I said is a different one. It was always seemed like we were in the middle. It was always like I was the intervener between me and the rest of the guys because the other one just wouldn't listen. It was just like, can you just fucking listen for the sake of the entire band? Like, please. It's like, I understand you want to do things your way, but like no one else does. Like it's 3-on-1. Like please, like just mediate a little, like, or please just compromise a little bit, please. Like compromising goes a long way in a band.
Jesus, sounds like my last ex-girlfriend.
Well, don't worry. His father looked like a fucking ex-girlfriend.
But I mean, so even going back further, so then previous to that, you guys released Meth Man as the next single. Before that, I've noticed a lot of drug-related things going on here.
You know, it's funny, like it coming from me and him and our drummer who really don't do anything besides like smoke weed. Like I think that the drug related thing is not necessarily more of like me, it's more kind of like my perception on watching people do it because like Fast Neil was more about just like seeing the people around me just be so consumed by like drugs and alcohol and just literal drama and nonsense. And Meth Man is literally based off a true story. We had a show about 5 years ago in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and we showed up and they kind of threw us outside, like right by the slum part of AC, like right outside, and like a back patio type of vibe. And for like the first hour, there was no sound guy. Like, we didn't know where the hell the guy was. And this guy just rolls in, and he's like sweating through his entire shirt. It's like, it's hot, but it's not like that hot. And like the dude's kind of just like pondering around. I'm like, what is this guy's deal? And then he disappears, Justin, for like an hour again. And he comes out and he's got a shirt off. He's like, I mean, he looked like he came out of the Atlantic Ocean, this guy. And he's like setting up all of our gear and he's like sweating over all the mics and everything. And we had heard whispers while we were there that the guy shoots up meth. And literally the guy left to go shoot up meth during sound check of our show.
That is a great sound check guy.
Oh yeah. And the best part of it all was his wife. She came strolling in and this lady, I mean, dragging her feet, and she's only got one flip-flop on. The other one's like not even existent. And we're just like, what the hell is going on? And that's where that line, meth looking sound man with this whore, like that literally was the honest truth of like what the fuck was going on. And the best part of that entire story, Justin, is about a few weeks after the show, I got a message on Facebook, and it was actually the meth man's girlfriend. And she goes, just so you know, your sound man wasn't on meth. He has, really bad diabetes. I'm like, I don't think really bad diabetes,
it was the diabetes, okay?
Sweating
the diabetes.
Oh God, yeah, that was interesting. But it's one of my favorite songs on the record. Like it's so much different than anything else we've done because it's so much faster. So
And again, I love the guitar riffs, man. I've noticed it's a nice trend that you guys are starting off songs with a sick riff, and that's a good fucking habit to have that I wish more bands would do.
yeah, the crazy thing about that song is like I wasn't even the one who wrote it. Our fill-in guitar player, his name is Josh. He had a solo record he was doing like 5-6 years ago, and that was one of the songs. And I remember sitting there, I was like, dude, this has got some like good riffs to it. So we literally sat there and we like pieced together like his solo song into one of our songs. And and trust me, Justin, when I'm playing it is the absolute bitch because there are so many different parts. It's like, I mean, there's literally just 4 riffs in just
Totally
the
hear
intro
it.
alone. And then, trying to figure out the scale he played. It was like an arpeggio scale he played for the solo. I'm like, you're fucking killing me, dude. Like, there's too many things going on here.
Sorry, hold on. Bringing things up. Technology glitch. There we go. Well, I mean, it's still, for song-wise recording, yeah, fucking sick. And I can understand how frustrating that could be playing it, and especially live. You're like, motherfucker.
It's a good problem. It's a good problem, but it's still a problem at the end of the day.
Well, now prior to that, you had 2018, you guys' first debut album, correct?
Mm-hmm.
How was that Love Puppy created? How long was that process?
Well, how they tell you that saying, you have your whole life to write your first record. Yeah, it's definitely an accurate one. I mean, those songs predated literally into 2015, like some of the stuff. Pretty much the way I had met Chris Penny was because we were doing there's a studio in New Jersey that I don't know if it's still open. I mean, it's still there, but I don't know if it's really open anymore. It's called Tracks East, and pretty much Doc Coyle from Bad Wolves and God Forbid, he's from New Jersey. Him and God Forbid, they did their first couple records there, and so did Hatebreed and In This Moment and Black Dahlia Murder, and Dillinger did Calculating Infinity there, and pretty much I hit them up about maybe going there and doing some tracking. So we went there and we did pre-production. And man, when you go there with a drummer who can't play in time at the time and a bass player who's just disgruntled about everything, it really, really shows. We showed up with 5 songs, and I remember the sound engineer pulled me in separately. Justin, he goes, "You guys fucking suck." And I was like, yeah, I know, but I knew that though, and he's just like, "This is a disaster." I'm like,
not you, Raphael. You had nothing part of this. Okay, not you.
Yeah.
Everyone, not Raphael.
Yeah, that was
guys.
Yeah, that was pre-Raf coming back. It's funny that Raf is our original bass player. Actually, he joined like way in the beginning when we were like little children, like in 2014,
like 15, 14,
yeah, 15. So, and then he came back 5-6 years later. So, with a vengeance.
Raphael basically said, "Oh, you guys are done sucking now. I like your music. I'll step in now." He's like, "I guess you guys could use my skills."
Trust me, so many growing pains over the years, but pretty much when we did that, the guy's name was Pat Noon. He was like, "Look," he goes, "I don't have time to take on this pet project." He goes, I don't. And whether you want to, like hearing, I was like, "All right, that's fine." He goes, "But I have a guy." He goes, "I'm like, who?" He goes, "He was the drummer of Dillinger, and his name's Chris Penny." And he introduced me to Chris Penny, and then Chris has been coming to my house literally in June of this year will be 4 years now, coming to my house. So, that first record, Justin, I mean, literally came together like so quickly. Like we literally tracked the entire thing from scratch in 6 weeks, like every song on that record.
Damn.
So, and 5 of those songs were already written, like Slaves in the System, Nightmare Never Ending, House of Hell, Greedy Bitch, and Why. Those were already written. And then we wrote Drowning and Myself and Spineless in the studio. And then Donald's Pamely wrote on the spot in the studio too. So, it was a very quick turnaround, which was great because like we had already lost enough times over the years recording and just, we've been to so many different people and just, just so much nonsense and drama. Like we did an EP out with John Moyer from Disturbed about a year or so earlier. And, talk about like great experience, like, going to Texas and going to his house and you see all the plaques and all the, the Billboard 200 top, positions and, it's pretty intimidating, but, he definitely tore me a new one when it came to like songwriting because he just like, you guys got to like write better songs. But pretty much, we took our version of writing things, his version of writing things, and kind of morphed them together because I wasn't really happy with the production of either way. And I pretty much was like super anal with Chris Payne. I was like, this shit needs to be like sonically better. He goes, all right, you got a deal. And, I think that the deal breaker with him, Justin, was in our song Slaves to System. I have a line about how much I hate Shakespeare. And it just goes, fuck Shakespeare, fuck that motherfucker. And John Moyer was not a fan of that line at all. He really was not. And he would not like put it in the song. And that really bothered me because I was like, John, like if there's anything I want in this record to stay in, it's that. And he wouldn't let me do it. And like I understand it didn't sound good, but it was just like it rhymes and it gets the point across. And I literally have had people walk up to me like, bro, fuck Shakespeare, fuck that motherfucker. I'm like, exactly.
Dude, that could be like the sickest like breakdown entry, like going in there like dun dun dun, fuck Shakespeare, dun dun.
Exactly. But I told Chris Penny, I was like, yo, like that line or those two lines need to be in the song. He goes, all right, no problem. He goes, they're in. I'm like, all right, I'm like, you're hired. And literally since then, dude, we've been turning out, rap, music left and right. And the crazy thing, Justin, about us is the stuff that's coming out, like Past the Needle and, Cold Blooded Volume 2, they'll be coming out April 20th. We were literally like the first record, the self-titled one, that wasn't even out yet. We were already working on the next record. Like we were already working on it. So like, like we were working on Brandon Boulder, which is going to be the third single on the record. Like we were already working on that before the record was even out yet. Like that's how crazy like the turnaround time was. It was like maybe a month we were already working on more stuff. So we literally ended up writing the whole Cold Blooded record like while we were supporting the other record. So, and it really is supposed to be one cohesive record. It's not supposed to be two EPs. It seemed like a better idea to kind of break it in half, get people more, because people's Tempest fans they're not high anymore.
Yeah.
So it's just easier to break it in half.
EP is the new album now in 22nd century, 21st century, whatever. It's a new album.
It is. But then COVID came and fucked up everything. So that kind of threw a wrench in my plan because it was designed to put out one and then put out the other. And then, we had went through a lot of turmoil, and not necessarily amongst the band or amongst like management. We pretty much we put out the first record. We were touring behind it for about 11 straight months. And, it was grueling, but it was so much fun just doing shows and recording. It was literally like every week we're doing at least a show or recording every week. I think we had maybe 4 weeks off within a year. And, we got a lot done, but by the time we were done, Justin, we did, a year of touring behind it. And we had the record, which is the one that's still coming out. It was done in 2019. And then what happened was we met some people at a showcase in New York, and they ended up, one of the guys kind of working under them had reached out to us about freelancing a tour opportunity with us. So they actually got us on 2 dates of Summer Slaughter 2019. And we ended up doing that. And we ended up doing the third date that we already had booked. And pretty much the guy who helped us get on there, he ended up trying to become our like booking agent. And he booked us this whole 7-day tour through New Jersey, New York, PA, Rhode Island. And we sent him the money, Justin, and he he ran with the money.
Fuck yeah. Wait, so you guys were on Summer Slaughter on the East Coast in 2019?
Mm-hmm. We did the Syracuse date, we did the Rhode Island date, and did the Easton, Pennsylvania date.
Dude, fuck yeah, dude. For people who don't know, remember Sumerian puts on, it was bigger and it kind of dwindled down. It's called Summer Slaughter, big heavy metal and death metal thing where they got pretty much more or less every major band under Sumerian kind of did it, and then they would do local acts within the area.
And the crazy thing about that tour was, Justin, is Lorna Shore was on that tour, and that's before Will joined. I know Will very well. I've known Will since he was back in local bands in New Jersey, and like I remember just talking with Austin and CJ from Lorna, like, oh, like, these guys are pretty cool, and like I remember watching them and like how crazy that band was, sonically. And now they're the biggest fucking thing in deathcore now. Like, it's unbelievable. Like,
if they can get their fucking band drummer situated, Jesus Christ, their guitar player just left the band after.
Really?
Yeah. So it's like now they got a band drummer too. And
I don't understand who would want to leave. I mean, Lorna Shore is the hottest thing in literally any heavy music now, and like Will's like the poster boy for like the resurgence of deathcore right now. Him and Alex Terrible, like both of them are. Like, I honestly question who's even more important because they're both so goddamn important.
I don't know, and Tom too. Tom, what he's doing with Chelsea Grin, and I forgot the guy's name from Spite.
Oh yeah, Josh Miller, and they have Darko.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Darko is fucking nasty.
Oh, like me and my friend Joey was talking all the time. It's like the money we'd pay to see Darko live is just astronomical.
Well, they were like a COVID band. That was Tom's like fun project during COVID. Darko released their first music during COVID.
It's crazy, like Mars Attacks and one of the other ones. That last one, I mean, was just fucking nasty. They have I think it's Divide Void's another fucking banger, and then they have Death Mask, and then there's whatever the last like 2 songs from Darko. They just like when you think they couldn't get any heavier, they just get heavier. It's ridiculous.
Well, that's a good segue into for both you gentlemen. What are some of the new modern rock and metal stuff that you've been listening to? What's some new stuff that you guys have been playing on repeat on Spotify, Apple, Napster, illegally downloading, however you do it? LimeWire.
LimeWire. There's a song from this band called Inclination. It has Isaac from Knock Loose, and I've been really digging their song Thoughts and Prayers. I think I've been really getting into the new Ice Nine Kills record's fucking phenomenal, and the same with the new Wage War record. Those records are amazing. The new Spike song is out of fucking control. How good it is!
That breakdown is fucking nasty. I heard that. I had to do a quick cover of it. I knew they were in Drop A, and it was just, I love that. Dun, 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 dun. Dude, it was so fucking sick.
So good. I'm gonna go through my Apple Music right now, library, and see what else I've been getting into. The new Vein stuff is very, very good. Same with the new Body Snatcher. I mean, how else do you start a song with "What's up, bitch? Fuck you. It's too fucking late. Weakness is ingrained in your beating." And I'm just like, that's how you start a fucking song. Just go straight for the beat down. Like, and my God.
And just throw in fuck Shakespeare.
Yeah, exactly. Just Body Snatcher intensity with fuck Shakespeare instead.
How about you, Raph? What is some new music that you're listening to?
I actually don't really listen to like new music. I guess I mainly like a lot of old school stuff.
All right,
I try to get into some of the new stuff, but I don't know. Every time I hear like some like modern stuff, I'm just like, I feel like I've heard this song like so many times before.
All right. So what
like trying to find
some of the older shit you've been slapping then?
I listen to like a lot of old Slipknot, like like the first like 2 records. But like honestly, I don't listen to like metal that much. Those are like really my roots. I like a lot of like alternative music, 90s rock, stuff like that. But I've never really been like a super metal head.
Dude, you'd be surprised how many people, like a lot of people in the music scene, like Danny Leo from Pond and Burning Body, he listens to a lot of hip hop. Like we literally was one of the he was playing out here and is backstage and we're chilling, and he put on Outkast to pump him up before going on show. Like, so you're not the only one, bro.
Yeah, like even when like the new like hip hop stuff, like some of it's all right, but I prefer like 90s, like 80s hip hop stuff. That's like where more my kind of stuff is.
Well, how about you, Mike? Then, what are some old school influences for you?
I mean, I do love 90s rap. Like the shit is just it's nothing against like what comes out nowadays. It's just I feel like the quality is just so much less than what it was in the 90s. Like, I mean, I love 90s hip hop of Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Tupac, Biggie, Nate Dogg, you know, Nas and Puff Daddy and just, and Exhibit and just like that whole like Death Row meets like first three Eminem like era, like like 90, like 92 to 02, like that's like my era for rap. I mean I like the newer rap. I didn't think there's some good rappers like like Denzel Curry and the Suicide Boys and Ski Mask the Slump God. So like I balance the two. I like to know what's going on with the newer stuff. I like Little Skies a lot, and like even like Little Peep or XXX or Juice World or Mac Miller. But I'd say like my biggest thing kind of tie into the nice stuff is 90s new metal. Like that's like that's like everything. Like everything from Slipknot, Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, Deftones, Korn, Godsmack, Drowning Pool, fucking Taproot, Union Underground. If it's new metal, I've most likely heard it. No One and Mudvayne and just System of a Down, like anything like 94 to like 04, like that's like my like favorite era of music.
Dude, those are the golden years of new metal, and that 2000, early 2000s, late 90s rock, bro. Those are totally generation defining moments.
I wish that like rock music had that same kind of pull it did in the late 90s, early 2000s. They had TRL and MTV and Headbangers Ball. Like I wish it really had that kind of pull, because I feel like nowadays people like don't want to like embrace the celebrity side of being like a rock star. And I was like, well, the more you guys keep fighting it, the more that MGK gets fucking bigger, and I don't want to see that anymore. Like, please, can we take back some of this? Like, I don't need the guy who was a good rapper comes over and now is a pop punker, and I oh my god, I thought it was good for the scene at first, and then the guys that are taking pot shots at Corey Taylor, and I'm just like, bro, like stay in your fucking lane, dude.
So going in, what's the next timeline for new music to come out from you guys?
So today is what, February 27th, I think. Yeah. So I mean, actually, you'll be the first to hear it, Justin. And people listen to this. This is where the leak, the quote unquote leak will come from this. March 17th, first single will be dropping. That song features.
That's like in 3 weeks. 3 weeks, people.
3 weeks. Pablo Viveros from Chelsea Grin is not only on the song, he's in the motherfucking video too.
Oh shit! And
then the record comes out on 4/20/22, which is the 2-year anniversary of our first EP, because they are one cohesive record. So we try to tie in both of them, just worked out timing wise. And then 2 days after that, on 4/22, we're gonna be dropping our next single, Brandon Boulder. And then pretty much in May, not quite sure when, we're gonna do a deluxe edition. So we're gonna take both EPs with some alternate versions, some demos, and a couple actually rap covers, and we're put out a deluxe edition of the record and kind of make it like one cohesive thing, and so people can listen to it the way it was intended to be listened to, not in 2 EPs.
Dude, heck yeah. You guys got a bunch of stuff coming up in the drain. I am fucking stoked to see that music video and hear it as well. Like, dude, that's going to be sick.
And, the crazy about that video is, Justin, we've had that video in the can since 2020. Like, that's how long it's been done. Like, it was done in like December 2020, like officially done, could come out the next day. And we just been holding on to it. Because you can't butch that. It's like you got Pablo from Chelsea Grin on the song, and in the video you gotta drop this correctly. You can't butch this.
All right, gentlemen, we got a lot coming up, so everyone needs to. I'm gonna be keeping poop, and we're gonna be pumping it as soon as I hit that hear the song and the music video. So, dude, Mike and Raph, I was hoping you would dress up as a Ninja Turtle, but you missed the memo. It's okay.
Yeah, sorry,
Hey,
man.
Raphael's the
Get it.
best one, dude. He's the best, bro. All right, dude. He's the angry one. See, just like you're the base, you're angry in the base. You're the angry one, bro.
Yeah.
The angry turtle.
But thank you guys, thank you gentlemen, for your time on your Sunday. I'm glad we got to wrap this in here. And dude, looking forward to hear the new music and more fucking killer riffs and everything.
Oh yeah. I'll leave you this breadcrumb, Justin. Wait until you hear the new stuff we've been working on. Because if you think Pass the Needle and Meth Man and our Betrayal are heavy, you have no idea what's coming. Like this shit is it's a tsunami of just heaviness. Like we wrote the heaviest shit and some of the most melodic shit we could ever write like together. Like the breakdowns are pummeling. We even dropped the tuning lower. Like that's how much more pummeling it is.
Fuck yeah, dude. Now I'm all excited. Well, gentlemen, thank you guys. Thank you everyone. After you watch this, probably be on the weekday. And always keep the horns up because the metal is always alive. All right, metal and rock is not dead. Clearly, there's bangers coming out like these gentlemen right here.
Yes, sir.
So we'll stay in touch, gentlemen. Stay safe, and everybody else always horns up.
All right, peace.